There you go. What we're going to do is we're going to cover the history and we're going to spread out. Those of you with cameras will stay away from the one truck that's over here. We will stay within the confines of the lot. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with all of you to see what's going on with your devices, and then I bring you back here to show you how it all tied together. Keep in mind, communication devices. This is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Big Red Barn. You will be getting the answers from your different devices that you're using. So let's kind of get started of why you're in a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. I told you I'd take you to weird spots. So this just happens to be one of them. No other tour comes here because there's nothing to see. But it does allow my larger groups like this to be able to spread out and be able to investigate where you're not all influencing one another. You'll see that as we kind of move about. Now, what is this place? This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. I need to know which one it is. That's why we look for those secondary clues in the event that somebody gets the name Charles. Hopefully somebody has a secondary clue so I can know how to address that particular Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman that recognition about signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box. So I do my very best every night to remember to give them that recognition and then move on.
That's pretty prevalent. That happens pretty often.
Enough to where I can say I need to make sure I give them that respect. So again, I've been coming here for 4.5 years. So now with this, we're going to be talking about Eliza specifically. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. What do you have? When I say she married him at a young age according to today's standards, it's because if you're going to ask her how old she was, do not expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial days that she came from when young ladies got married at that age. Only because the husband was over double her age. It was creepy then, it's creepy now, just so you guys have that idea. Now, moving on. She married him because her father was over in England, where they're all from, and the father thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, and instead she stayed put right here and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. This is a true love story, if nothing else. So there's nothing horrific about this location, just so you guys know. If anything, it's a place of respect. So back to Eliza. She was right. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you guys are wearing it tonight because that's how we use it. When she got those seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She learned from her servants and slaves how to keep it going because, believe it or not, it's not always hot here in case you're not from here. Then she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of her father and told him that the rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times, something absolutely unheard of. So again, this is a place of respect. What's going to happen with this from now on?
7.2.
Nice, got it. I'll take note.
Oh, well, 7.2.
Yeah, so it's, well,
it changes a lot.
Yeah, that's what you want. So if it was coming from a man-made object, it would hover around that 7.10. So we're going to see how high we can actually get it. So that's your new baseline. Don't give me anything below 7.2 while we're here.
Yes, sir.
So what's going to happen with all the communication devices, I'm going to assign you guys focus questions. Keep in mind we do have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder, and if you're asking a question, that answer can go anywhere. So all of you listening to spirit boxes, you're going to tell me all that silly shit that you're hearing because you don't know what other people are asking. If you go rogue, just be respectful. No yes, no questions. You guys got the point, right? Perfect. All right, so Brad and Melissa, you guys have the same type of spirit box. You two are going to be focused on Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it. The 4 major questions we get answers to: how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So again, very specific questions. If you go rogue, just you get the point.
Right.
Moving on. So word list. Where's my word list? So that would be Brian and Adam. Your devices are going to hopefully work in sync. So Adam, you're going to be looking for her initials in full. ELP, no anagram. I want them in that order because Brian's going to be looking for what the L stands for. The reason why is because Eliza that I just talked about is the second wife named Eliza. The first wife also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. This way we know that we're dealing with the correct Eliza. So kind of be focused on that. Kaylina, yours is going to be focused on the mansion. It's not here anymore. Your device only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So if you get the, hey, what happened to the mansion answer, or if somebody else gets it, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the date of when that tragedy occurred. I'm giving you a clue, it was a tragedy. So again, I'm I'm not saying focus on the tragedies, ask the question, see if you get an answer. But again, you don't know that Brad's not going to get the answer. So that's the whole fun part about this, is that we never know where these answers are actually going to fall.
So I can unmute this?
Yeah, so once we spread out, I'm going to keep Adam behind with me just so I can show him a little bit more about that device, and I'm going to do round robins and answer more questions about your guys' devices as we're kind of going through this location. So we'll probably do about 2 round robins with this spot. Again, cameras move slowly when you're moving around, because I do watch them in fast forward. Much easier to find an anomaly if it's going in fast forward. So the slower you move, the easier it's going to be able to find something. Boys, any other numbers I need to know about out of yours from this location?
No.
So we got a 7.2 out of yours. Perfect. All right, we're on track. You guys get to work. I'm going to keep Adam with me. Spread out. Let's do this.
The whole parking lot.
The whole lot's yours. Just stay away from the white truck. All right.
Keep it still.
connected?
No.
Here.
Here, come here. Come here. I have Josh's neck.
Josh's neck.
Give it back to me so I can get back to him.
Me and Josh are chill as fuck. I let him hit my camera.
I hate having the camera, bro. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Is it so big, bro?
This is audio, right? Shit, they can hear us.
Can't jerk it fast, bro. You have to be slow with it and controlled. How did you become a coach? Did you choose this one? I'm just messing up. Yeah, I knew you were there. Oh, he said 4.
She said 5. I don't think that's how it works. I don't like this shit one bit. And the fact that he doesn't believe in demonic shit. You know, movies like... I don't know. This is gonna be a long night for me.
Oh, my back hurts so bad.
said, what happened here? Can you tell me what happened here? He said, yeah. Yeah.
So her death, age, how, where, married,
Okay.
president, that was a pallbearer.
Okay. The last two are the ones cool. Okay. Thank you.
I don't want nothing.
Huh?
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I don't want no ghost haunting me or no shit. I don't know. This shit ain't something funny to fuck with, bro. I'm sorry, but no. I don't fuck with this shit. I really don't. I'm too much of a Christian for this shit.
Well, it's supposed to be for fun.
I don't know. He hella serious too, though. This shit better be fucking fake. I swear, if there's a fucking ghost haunting me, I'm coming back.
What?
Throwing hands.
For what? He said this is real.
What is that guy doing?
Who?
The guy sitting there and the guy just sitting there.
Where?
Right there. The guy with the red hair.
Oh yeah, he's looking.
He's looking at it. Just looking at it like that. What? He's a bot. He's a bot. He's a bot.
I don't think he gives a crap if he's a bot or not. Bro's jet.
This girl is.
He's like Caesar salad.
You like Caesar?
Do you like
Oh my
Caesar?
god, it's 5:50.
Tell us to get up.
Yes.
Are you staring at these kids?
Yes.
You better not be telling anybody, even your sister. I do this because you're old enough, just like you're a good kid, so that's why I do it. Don't get into it. Not really matters, but I got a constant 2.3 in the corner over there for about 10 seconds.
That's pretty long. It's probably from my main dollar.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. So, but I'm kind of, I hate to say like disappointed, but like 2 out of 7 nights a week, we don't get a whole lot of high EMF. I think the highest we actually had was coming out of yours. That was like a 7.9. Yeah, 7.6. Whatever I wrote down, because that was what I wrote down when you told me. But normally this location gives me between an 18 to a 22. So let me explain what the EMF is based on things around your home, so you kind of have an idea of why I'm looking at that number specifically. Your TV set gives off about a 40 to a 60 milliamps. So your microwave heating up your food is going to go to about 150 to 170 based on the wattage of your microwave. The highest I've ever seen those devices go has been here. And that's been the ones that Paul and Dominic have. They actually go up to 200. I've watched those error out, which means it went over 200 milligauss while we were in this space. I've been ghost hunting for about 15 years. This is the space where I keep getting those kind of numbers. And I've gotten triple digits the remainder of that 15 minutes in between those erroring out. I will tell you, we left. I have epilepsy. That's too much electricity in the air for the guy with the neurological disorder. That's why I called you guys my safety directors. So that's why I always like to kind of see if I can gauge you guys and spread you guys out a little bit, so that way we can see what we got going on. We got a bunch of little 2s and 3s. I'm not like super excited about those based on the location, but those numbers would be very exciting at other locations, just because you got to know your baselines. There is no electricity in here, just so you guys know. So the poles are too far away because the transformers are pretty high up. But that little corner lamppost might still have some electricity in it. That's why that 2.3 that you had, I'm not super excited about it. Another 2.9. So let's kind of cover the answers. I'll show you what I'm excited about as I kind of go through these. Again, if you have a camera, by all means hit that stop button. So Shannon, let me know if you got that.
You tell him to stop calling you. I don't know what you want from me. He's calling.
You were chatting
Flash.
and Flash. Okay. I don't know if that's relevant.
Okay,
but...
well I'll call him later and tell him here. I'm busy hunting ghosts right now. Can you leave me alone? Thanks.
So
But
any
you
events,
should
just
Paul
for the
should tell you
camera's
what I
sake,
did to
when
him.
other tourists are walking through here, we'll split the siege. We'll point your cameras downwards and not make them feel uncomfortable. And with yours, it's super easy. You just gotta drop it with the top handle. But Emily, with yours, it looks like a cell phone. So you can just look like you're holding a cell phone, just like you are. So again, try to get an angle going one way or the other, going down the alleyway. So you guys can see why. Other tours, this is normally jam full, just so you guys know. You're lucking out because we have the whole place to ourselves right now. But let's talk about why every ghost tour comes down here. This is a staple for every ghost tour. And I honestly hate this story, but this guy likes to follow me around. He obviously follows us to our next location. And he will show up at our last stop as well, because it's a place of raised emotion for him. So this place is called Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some of the duels because it was illegal. They had to find hiding spots to be able to go do the deed. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. So let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. That's why I was excited about the word doctor. I was like, damn it, he already knew we were coming. So I know that the seeds thing is a little bit, you know, like I was like, oh, we're a little too far away, but
Yeah.
that's because I only usually find things relative to Eliza is centralized over there.
Over there.
But with Doctor, he's all over the place. So again, you got to know your ghost. But anyway, the doctor's name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening to Spirit Boxes at this point, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it is not coincidence. It is part of his name. We get it all the time, just so you have that idea. But anyway, he moves here from Rhode Island. And that's actually the reason why we have, Adam's device. So that one particularly, you're going to be looking for the initials RI, just because it can be relative in one of two ways. You're going to see that in just a minute. So Rhode Island. He moves down here because he's married, or he's engaged to his fiancee Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she is an attorney, helping her out with all of the cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not. And on his way into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a very good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by, seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. Somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs, same initials as where the doctor came from. We've had that device for about 1.5 years now. We've had the letters RI show up whenever I brought up Ralph's name about 7 times, just so you can have that, kind of statistic. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen then became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's cash. She's moving down so they could be married, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Here's why I hate the story. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit will have a cliched whistling ghost. It's almost a promise. So, we actually have legitimate evidence from this guy. We're going to talk about some of it, how to debunk it as well. But moving on, why are we in Dueler's Alley? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they go see Richard III one night. On the way home, they're arguing over the new actress that was here in town. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly, and they went their separate ways. Now, I told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb stuff. Anyway, the two gents came down, back to back, took the 10 paces away from each other. They turn. Doc points his gun in the air, and he shoots his one shot.
This happens right here?
Yeah.
In this alley?
That's why we're here. You missed the whole story. You going to come in like that?
That's all I'm talking.
So,
But it's not Jewish.
he was not Jewish.
Alright.
So, shoots a shot in the air, didn't want to kill his friend. He had the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, he fell to the ground. But Ralph proved his point. He's still pissed. He's not willing to forgive his friend. Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. He's also a doctor. He probably just tried to bleed it out himself because he thought he had lead poisoning, but obviously he failed. Every ghost tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles from the doctor. We have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's going to come up on one of those devices. However, the red spirit boxes with the headphones that the gentlemen are using, I can't tell you how many times we've had the whistling part of a song and the word doctor show up immediately from a commercial right after it. Dozens upon dozens of times. It's just his little nod to let us know he's here. If you're going to try this on your own without me, because I can't take you all the way through here, I've been kicked out. We're going to talk about that because that's the fun part of the story. Now, he's like, oh yeah, finally, something fun. But anyway, so if you're going to use your voice recorders, just remember every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. So again, they're usually pretty easily debunkable, but I do have some in the background that I have no idea where they came from, and it's usually from a camera. So it's not always on a direct voice recorder, so you'll see that like as we kind of go through your findings when I go through your data. Now, let's talk about how I got kicked out of here, because that's the fun part. Now, the alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. They kept all the livestock down here, and hence the name Cow Alley. So cows, chickens, and goats are down here. Why the hell am I telling you this? The alley on the other side is older than the bricks that we're standing on. So those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there with fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through for a history lesson. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. The kid's not going to be there staring at that brick. So November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there to give them their little history lesson so we can all see how far we've come from slavery, and they all stopped and huddled around that brick, same size of the group we have tonight. I'm trying to shoot them along because I know nothing's going to happen with the gear. However, we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying not to be rude, like outside the dining room window, not realizing we were out of bounds. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter was on the tour that night and thought it was hysterical that her father was getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart for over 10 years. You all like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you scarred me for life. So I will never work another Thanksgiving ever. Now, moving the next day was the 28th of November. The dates are relevant. I'm going to get to it. And I called my partner that brought me into tourism that I used to work with, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what to do next. He laughed at me just like my daughter did. He's like, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. Otherwise, you got to reroute your group, man. That's residential down there. So what I told my group that night was, I don't believe in the story up and around the corner, which is, unfortunately for us, is the story we're not doing tonight because of what's going on with the cemetery. But I told them, I'm into vampires, not pirates, and I've never had anything happen over there. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, but before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny that we were going to be investigating. Yeah, we go up and around the corner. I told them what I did know about piracy in Charleston, which wasn't much because I only had a quick day to research, and remember, it wasn't a topic of interest for me. And somebody else heard the number 300 coming out of another spirit box.
7.6 when you said that.
Nice. So the 300, I have no idea what that means. I wrote it down and did the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So I normally get the, that's pretty cool shit. I was actually quite pissed off. The reason why, I actually have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing anything dealing with writing and research, especially ghost hunting, I need facts and data. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. What you get?
Disease.
I want to see where it goes. Like, I want to see what disease they're talking about. So we'll kind of see where it goes.
Alright, I'll update you if you get anything else.
Yeah, I'll ask you before we leave the space what the last few words were. Now, where we're going up and around the corner, I'm going to be taking us over to this crazy cemetery. We are in the month of June, getting very, very close to the exact anniversary of what happened over there. Of course, I'll explain it once we get there. Before we leave this space, what have we heard? What have we seen? Like, talk to me. What do we have? Anything I need to write down? I know, like, you're on mute right now, Kaylina, so anybody else have heard anything?
You're surrounded yellow.
I got disease and under, just came up after that.
So the color yellow shows up here often. Let me explain why. There's also a very specific number that shows up here often, normally in doubles. But the house that I told you that Dr. Ladd lived in, 59 Church Street, is a giant yellow house. So it is well known to be yellow, for example. So what was the other, I'm sorry, the rest of the other terms?
Disease, under, older. Those are the most recent ones. Since we've been back here, after Jewish, I got kick and ice. Not sure if those are relevant.
Oh, we're going to let them pass through before we leave the space. Just kind of split the C's. And then, Josh, you had a 7.8, you said?
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, there's another group
With
here,
no
so
quick
we're gonna
twitches.
We're going to huddle on the far side of them, all right?
Is that program?
Okay. Yours I don't have to write down.
Sorry to interrupt, guys.
Oh, you're fine.
Raised?
And then you had below that too, right? Below and raised? That doesn't
Oh,
make any
yeah.
sense.
Oh, yeah, under, older program raised.
Now, to my mind,
Adam, did you get anything spelled out for us?
Non-profit. I work for a non-profit.
I'd be fine with it.
1 point.
What's that?
I got an eye at one point. That was it.
He got a 9 just now, he says. Were you twitching it? Yeah, that's not too quick.
They laugh.
Anything on the cameras that I need to know about that you guys may have seen over there?
Actually, you see anything?
Yeah, her camera is super small, so with her specifically, I don't always follow up in real time because it is so small, and I send all the videos to YouTube just so you guys know.
Sometimes
so that way
it's
you
just
can
follow you on YouTube?
And if you want,
No,
it's
I think
all
it's
the
just
cool
that
stuff,
glitch
like
in
a database.
I'm not
Okay.
doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
It wasn't that. It was
That's
back
okay.
there. It wasn't by those.
I know.
It was like in that corner. It was like a figure. I don't think.
It was like two different voices. It was like, I'm not, and then doctor.
Anything else that I need to know before we leave the space? Okay, so I always like to point out the gate behind me too before we leave. I'm just giving them stalling so they can actually get out of the alley with us. So not a whole lot of people know why this gate is actually here. I want you to notice that the archway is definitely part of the original wall here, but in the event that there was a loser to the duel, remember that there was a wall up here. So instead of going all the way down to Queen Street and doubling back with the dead body, they created this archway with the doorway so that way they can get to the cemetery quicker. So again, I call this the death gate. The wrought iron was probably put here in the early 1900s because the property separated. But again, the archway is definitely part of the original wall. Like you can see all of the original brickwork.
Injury.
Like injury. Just want something more specific on that injury. Is that on the word list or what you heard? What you heard. Okay, perfect. So when we get up and around that corner, cameras, if you want to stop your videos until we get around the corner, by all means you can do that.
Dude, I just pet it, bro. Have you ever heard of
I'm going to get all three cameras over on this side, so when I come up this way, I want yours on focus for sure. So you guys see like the cross headstone off in the distance back there? So Sue's grave is one to the left and back one more. So when you guys get like up next to the wrought iron gate there, like just try to be as still as possible. And yeah, just kind of move it so you can jump over the answer.
I'm not sure if it's like the.
Yeah, I think this might be this thing. There's another thing over here. Is it just, yeah, it's just stones.
Yeah, I think it's just the look on the phone.
Oh, hanging a tree.
You guys see the light up there to the left? They put that light up there so people like me wouldn't come up here with all these cameras. Like we would get light flares, like the church put those up there.
Yeah, right like that.
Yep, exactly.
Graduate?
You're gonna get a little bit of things coming up with the trees on yours. just so you
Yeah.
know. But the more still you are, the more we'll be able to tell if like somebody's walking behind the tree and comes out the other side. Like that would be super exciting.
Protect.
I'm gonna say about you on our job later for being so super still. Think she fell asleep.
Healer?
Be doctor as well. It's a vague stretch, but you see where I'm going with it.
Yeah. Who's the healer? It's a healer, yeah. Who's the healer?
Monday night.
I wish we would have said that like 3 seconds ago. It was DRX.
Same the X.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it
kinda
was
like-
DRX.
Preparing.
Prepare for what? Preparing for what?
All up.
9.1. Right here. Probably 3 seconds.
Church. Yeah.
anything else?
No, I haven't got anything since healer.
Y'all are?
It's spelled out PUFF.
Is it a man or a woman?
Right? You saw fuck food, right?
Got anything interesting? No?
We keep feeling that something I love general feeling.
I love how y'all have that, man. Because you can hear the specific words, so...
But it's not accurate.
There's a lot of just gibberish.
I feel like you're getting a little bit more out of that than I was. Because I was like, I just can't understand anything.
How do you know what it's
All talk.
speaks in
Yeah,
English.
so it's like, it's running through a bunch of radio stations, so mostly what you hear is like little tiny pieces of songs.
How's
or
our camera
people
work going?
speaking, but
Getting
every
tired?
once in a
Pulling
while,
your
you'll
cameras
actually
up?
A
get,
little.
like,
Figured we're about done here. It looks like there's other tours looking to come up. I would say let's go ahead and get those stopped. Kind of see what we got going on. I'm gonna put this up. What did he say? I said bang bang, like shot shot. That was my first thought. What about the two of you? Any questions coming out of the two of you? I normally. What's that?
I got mugged.
Mug. Interesting piece about Mug. All of her jewelry and cash were intact. She was not robbed.
Yeah, that's what you wrote in Germany.
I believe the ending sentence. I do that as a vocal note for me for when I'm listening to this, so that way I'm not mistaking that for, oh my god, we had all this chitter chatter in the background. There was like 8 ghosts. There's just a vocal note.
Why were you there?
Why were you there?
That could be a question.
Okay, I like it. Like a lot of people ask like where she was going. So let me change your perspective a little bit. She was 64 years old when this happened. She was a widow from the Ravenel family, so she married into the money. So this could have been a family affair. Notice I tried not to give you too much before I said start giving me some questions. She was a widow, so her husband died. So he's dead, long gone, and she still has all the Ravenel money. This woman was actually from Detroit, Michigan.
Did you love him? I did.
I like it.
People walking by.
There's a lot of theories. A lot of theories. Lots of people in the background. One of the theories is that there was somebody, a neighbor nearby, that was trying to get rid of the stray cats of the neighborhood and was shooting at them with a .38. If you know anything about guns, that's very highly unlikely. It's kind of ridiculous. Another theory from a family member was that she had her own .38 and she basically tripped and fell and the bag went off, or the gun went off from inside of her bag, hence why there was no gunpowder residue on her body. So, yeah, it's a decent theory.
Yeah, man.
But can we prove it? No. A couple of nights.
Was it an accident?
Yeah, was it an accident?
What's it? You know how there's like a name of like Trevor thing on this thing? Like
Name of a what?
How they say how he got like Trevor or something? Trevor.
How he got the name Trevor. He's
Oh,
thinking that
they also had Edward too. So I wrote both of them down. So I'm going to be diving into those. I do have like the reports of like what they did with this whole case and who was working on it and what the suspects, who the suspects were.
Why are you taking your thumb on the neck with an antenna?
He told me to.
Alright.
Watch. Hey, listen.
Yeah, let's get
Hey, a little bit tighter. Come on. I want to talk about the cousin.
Just say the word. Level 12. Let's ask a few silly questions. Gentlemen, what color is a blue banana? Perfect. They can't hear me. Alright, Henry. It's funny that I said the Jurassic Park bit and he's wearing a Jurassic Park t-shirt. That's so funny. Henry, if you're here, I got a large group here with us tonight. I know there's another large group passing through. That's not always your favorite, but let's verify you're here first and foremost. Let's talk about your line of work. Tell us what you did for a living. Henry? Tell us what you did for work. We're also using the blue box tonight. There are 3 gentlemen here, which isn't always a common thing for you.
Best man in the world.
Okay. Henry, let's be more specific about your job. Let's not be generic. Try to find the right word to tell us that you're here. If somebody else came with Henry, let us know by using your code word. Wow, they are super quiet. Ultimate. Henry. Your job, please. What did you do for a living? If you want to change the subject and talk about a family member, you have to tell us.
Records.
Henry, we're hearing a sound out of the church. Can you tell us what that sound is? Kaylina, we've had the word bell spelled out on that thing before when I've asked that question in the past, just so you know. Henry, what did we just hear out of the church?
He's giving.
He hasn't said anything yet, has he? Well, he hasn't seen anything yet. But a lot of times when people go underneath when they're listening to that thing, sometimes they forget to tell us what they're hearing as they hear it.
We come to destroy us.
Come to destroy us. I mean, you might have to like lift up his earmuff and just remind him to let us know what he's hearing. So if you want to maybe step behind him.
Nice.
Make sure you're saying it out loud if you hear something.
To what?
Make sure you're saying it out loud if you hear something.
Okay. Is he okay? Is that nerve? Is that...
Oh, he's ADD.
Got it. Nope, we're good. We're good. Keep going. Keep going. Nope. Keep going. Keep
sorry.
going. She
Your leg was just bouncing. I'm sorry. That was my bad. 20th?
Henry, we're looking for verification that you're here. We're not getting much. And we've already been under for 4 minutes. I missed what he said.
Map?
Yeah.
Henry, you've never brought up a map before.
Because he wants.
Adam, still nothing.
He's at home.
He's at home. 24. Okay, that's a clue to me that he wants to talk about his son because he was born on Christmas Eve. We've gotten that number here before. You guys can hopefully see where I tie that together. Henry, you don't always bring him up, at least directly. Can you tell us your son's name? Or maybe how old he was when he passed? Unfortunately.
The lady's trying to get to me. Worship.
You just got to tell us the number, Henry. How old was he? Is he less than a year old? Henry,
Tell name.
you say name?
I think he said tell name.
Spirit.
I feel bad for Adam. He hasn't seen anything yet. It's like wandering around Star Trek 9 in there. Henry, you were starting to tell us about your son. Can you give us his full name?
Leonard.
It's a weird name to be hearing on the radio, though, isn't it? It said Leonard.
Yeah. Is that his son?
Willie.
You have 5. Take over.
Missed what Brad's saying. He's speaking a little low.
When you tell him to say it loudly.
Yeah, we still got time, so let's get him in there just a little bit louder. I missed like 3 things he's mentioned.
Speak a little louder.
I know I told him volunteer. Fury. Every weekday. There we go. Now we're on track. Henry, can you give us your son's name? We all know what it is. We're just trying to verify.
You already
that
did.
I say like a church.
What color is that church?
Just yellow. Have like a red tube over it or something.
Anything else going on in that picture?
14.
That's just a church. Like inside the church.
He said 14. Did you get
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it matches with anything, and I can't find it.
Only hope.
Unless, of course, it's the address of this church that I don't know what it looks like. Entertainment and travel. Henry, can you give us more images? That seems to be the way we may need to go tonight. Henry?
15.
14 and 15. Henry? I'm still looking for the original 2 questions. What your occupation was and what sound did we hear out of the church. I know you gave us an image of a church, but it doesn't match the St. Michael's Church across the street where we heard the noise.
Relief. Right here.
What's he say?
He said right here.
Oh.
That's,
I thought it came from over here. I'm like, where did that come from? He's speaking pretty subtle too.
Changes.
I didn't catch what that was.
dangerous.
Oh, dangerous.
I have to give you a job later on to listen to these guys. Hearing them better than I am.
16.
say. He's accounting.
Yeah.
14, 15, and 16. And then he said, I'll say. I heard that now.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
What did he say? Something new?
We know.
What are you counting?
Michael.
Michael's Church, across the street. What came out of St. Michael's? What sound was it? And don't say frogs. I mean, we are running out of time. You didn't really give us a whole lot here tonight. Overall wellness. Did somebody come here with you? Are they blocking you from talking to us? Oh, we're supposed to get a storm after midnight. Hurricane. Raw. Henry, if you give us one more image.
10.
Nice. If you give us another image, we'll wrap this up.
Blind.
Did you say blind?
Yeah.
Because we actually get that word here a lot. Henry, you want to give us another image? He heard something funny. He was grinning. Henry, can you at least tell us goodnight and not be rude about it? A couple years ago. Henry. I'm asking for another image.
How's
your love life? I missed what Brian said.
Guess.
Yes. And then something, love life.
Yeah, love life.
It's like a brick wall with like
Letter.
Letter.
chains on it or something.
Better or letter?
Letter.
Brick wall.
Checkers.
Is it ivy? Or is it definitely like metal chains?
That's like almost like rope chains, I guess.
Okay.
There's like 2 on each side.
Alright.
Whistle noise.
Stay away.
You say whistle noise? Dr. Ladd, are you here with us? That's a yes, no. Does that wall you saw look like the alley that we were in, Adam?
Not really.
Stand up.
Security.
For 3 months.
Corridor.
Dr. Ladd, if you're here, use that
Our
code word.
country.
I'll give you another minute.
Country.
You just said country as well. I'm going to give you another minute, Dr. Ladd. You know what your code word is.
Nice.
You can even show us an image to represent that color. I'll take that. It's a little bit of validation.
Test.
Yeah, I'm testing you.
Responsibility?
Dr. Ladd and Henry going once. Going twice.
Understand.
Alright,
Doctor.
go ahead and tap him out. Let's go ahead and
Say
tap
doctor.
him. Did he really?
Yeah, he did say, understand, doctor.
Understand what?
Doctor.
Said doctor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dr. Ladd, what was your address?
I wanted to know. It was amazing.
What was your address? Adam, do you remember the green church that you
Laughing.
saw? Or the yellow church?
850?
It was 59.
He said laughing.
The yellow church, did it have green shutters on it? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
TikTok.
Yeah, this is like over the time I normally spend on this storm.
So there is where we started. Yeah, no.
Dr. Ladd, give you another opportunity
Justice?
to give us your address,
He said 350.
or you can tell us the color of your house, like you did earlier. Going once, twice. All right, Emily, now you're up. Go ahead and tap him out. Let's go ahead and get Brian out of there. How you feeling there?
Do what?
Okay, we're calling
You're
it.
good? Okay, cool.
So, Brian, with yours, you have a button next to your volume. I want you to click it in the opposite direction so it stops the recording. We're going to take a look at these images